face to face, or is it just for protection, or what?
We got a camera here. We got 2 cameras. We got all the good sides.
Okay.
We're
There's
alive.
one for audio.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give it a solid 30 seconds.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I like this kid, police man, trying some shit real good. I'm alive, man. I can't afford to take these L's real quick. Shout out to Spurs. Spurs. You a Spurs fan?
Oh, not the Spurs, my boy Spurs.
Oh, Spurs.
I'm not Spurs fan. I'm a Bulls fan out there. Shout out to Spurs. Track, Skill Bill, Skill Will.
Hey man, shout out to all my baby mamas. I ain't paid yet. Y'all real ones.
Oh, they're not tuning in right now. Good thing we don't show where the location is. I'm gonna be waiting outside for a brother. And not tonight. Yeah. We just getting started.
Well, hello everybody. It's time for another episode of the Chicago 60 Podcast. Do we have an amazing show for you tonight? We have a special guest that you can see right in front of you. But on this episode of the Chicago 60 Podcast, we are talking about comedy in Chicago. Stand-up, improv, Zanies, Laugh Factory, Chicago, New York, LA. It's comedy all night. That is what we're talking about. We might have a little bit of a smack for the Packers, and we always end with the Jack of the Week. It's all for you this week on the Chicago 60. And now, gentlemen, it's time for
It's the podcast.
That shit was hot.
That was not how we rehearsed it, but we kind of
came out really nice, really smooth.
It came from the heart, to be honest with you.
That's
know
what
what?
it came from the heart.
That's exactly what.
And that's what matters. Well, hey everybody, welcome back to the second episode of the Chicago 60 Podcast here in 2020. And we have an amazing show for you. I can't wait to talk to you more about what's going on. We're gonna do that. I don't know what's going on. Just like random feedback here.
It's
yeah. Oh, is it? It's gone. Hey, so we've got an amazing special guest here for you tonight. You know what? Norm. Check that, Mike.
It's down. It's all the way down.
Anyways, technical situations.
It happens.
Yeah. But we have an amazing special guest for you tonight. We're not having the technical difficulties take away from that. I am super excited to have him back because we had him on last year when he had to deal with Mike Jaworski.
Mike Jaworski.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a problem. It was super probs. But now we're back, and he's just going to have a fun time talking with us. So first of all, I am your illustrious host, Justin Jaworski. Let's start there, from the Chicago 60. Across from me is my co-host. Okay, hold the phone.
Serious feedback going on.
Serious feedback situations. Let's take a pause for station identification.
I was about to say that.
There you are.
Okay, we figured it out. Because I'm so smart, I think, but not really. Thanks.
Because the pressure
Because
is
all of it. Again, hey everybody, it's the Chicago 60 Podcast! Welcome back to the second episode here in 2020. We have an amazing show for you. First of all, I am your illustrious host, Justin Azara. And across from me is my co-host and resident all-star superstar,
What up, yo? Ron Russell in the building.
Ron.
I know who it is.
How are you, Ron?
I'm doing pretty well today, brother. How you doing, man?
I just like that you called me brother. I'm doing super great. It's super great to see you.
It's always good to see you, man. It's good to be here.
Thank you. And of course, we have our man in the booth. It's Quiet Storm and Norman. Hello, Quiet Storm and Norman.
Hi.
How are you doing, man?
I'm doing all right.
Excellent.
Thanks.
You have a lot of technology gizmos over there.
Yeah, I'm kind of busy.
Yeah.
He's basically saying you are interrupting him while he's technology.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm kind
Shit,
of
do the
busy.
job.
oh shit.
Yeah, let me do my thing. Yeah.
You're learning on the job. is what you're doing.
I appreciate that.
Fantastic. Well, with all of that, so that's the C60 crew. That is JNR. We in the building. Tonight we're talking about comedy with a gentleman who we had on last year. And he had to deal with Mike Jaworski last time he was interviewed. That was a thing.
I was in the room and I was watching and I was like, man, dude, Mike needs to just break down.
Oh man, it was
rough, man. Hey, but James, he a pro. He got through it.
Yes, he did. He was a superstar.
Yes. To be honest, I actually had a pretty good time. I enjoyed everything.
Well, we're hoping you have another good time. And without further ado, sitting in the middle of me and Ron, I know that was poor English grammar, but I don't care. Sitting in between us is the man, the myth. He is the host of the Young Hustle Show at the Laugh Factory every last Friday of the month. He is also an amazing stand-up comedian that travels all around the city of Chicago, all over the United States, hosts open mics and other shows all around the city of Chicago. He is unbelievable, he is undeniable, and he will make your ass laugh. We got here the man, the myth, the legend, St. James.
Oh, block, block. Block, block. I know that's a real gunshot.
I know, right?
Pop.
The gunshots, you got the shots going on.
That's all I got.
Shots fired.
This is how you know I'm not a tough guy, because my gunshots even sound kind of feminine. Block, 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 block. What are you doing?
Those are definitely white bullets, right?
Yes. Those are female bullets. Those are female lasers.
White female bullets. Lasers.
Yeah, female lasers. Anyway, St. James, how are you, man? How you feeling?
How you doing?
I'm doing super great. Well, let's. You have the right mind, and let's do a cheers to that.
So good. I'm
Podcast. Cheers to you, quiet storm and Norman. The sweet taste of cheap American beer. I love it. It's fantastic. It's so good.
Speak for yourself.
That's right. Tonight's episode is being sponsored by the beer of tonight, which is PBR.
Really?
Yes. And or Stella Artois. I'm not sure what actually is in it. It's one of those two.
Old style.
Old Style.
Yeah.
The beer of tonight is Old Style. We keeping it classy. It's the new 20s. And we're wearing really heavy coats, suit jackets, and vests and hats. Fedoras are back in, or maybe they're not. I don't know. But yeah, so thanks, Old Style. And this episode is being brought to you by Zanies Comedy Club. Hey, do you like to go have a good laugh and you're not sure if you want to go to one comedy club or the other one, but you kind of hear that this one comedy club is like the one that you're supposed to go to, and then you get in there and you're like, wow, it's really cramped in here, but I think I can go with it. And then you pay for a ticket, and then you have to pay for a lot of drinks, and then you have a good time, and then you're like, wow, that was a great place. I'd love to go back again and see some other great comedians sometime. Well, then look no further than Zanies Comedy Club. Zanies. They're the other comedy club that's in the city, right next to the second city, because they got confused and were like, let's put all the comedy in one spot. So Zanies, go there, have a good time. Tickets online at some place, that's their website. Zanies. All right.
Man, you must get paid a lot for that promotion.
No, actually, those are our ghetto.
Oh, thank God.
Those
So
are
this is
ghetto
a routine. All right, cool.
Yeah, those are ghetto.
Oh yeah, no, we're hoping that eventually people
Somebody
actually
will pick us up and be like, yo, we will fuck with y'all.
That's
Y'all
cool.
ghetto.
Yeah.
I thought they were like, yeah, we can give y'all some money and do your best. And you're like, okay, cool.
We'll keep
Justin,
do your
We'll keep
best.
pretending.
Oh no, that was just a bit.
That's just bits. Oh, this whole show
There
is a bit.
will be commercials spread out throughout the episode, but that's the first one.
Thank you.
So thanks,
Oh,
Zanies,
trust me, we're gonna keep
for your
we're gonna keep you
keep you on toes.
and unsure.
Yes,
Throughout
sir.
this whole process.
Who knows what's going to happen? But I do know what's going to happen now, and that is that we're going to get into this topic, which is comedy and how it happens in our lovely city, a Midwestern town that starts with the C, ends with an O, and has Chicago in the middle of it.
That's pretty much true.
Chicago.
That's right.
Cheers to Chicago, our favorite city in the whole wide world. Okay, now, St. James, you do this thing that they call stand-up comedy in the city. I have done some open mics and things like that. Now, what I really want to talk to you about is I've been out of the scene for a little bit, and you are very much in the scene. Now, I see you do a lot of different shows. So you have your show at the Laugh Factory. on Fridays, last Friday of every month, the Young Hustle Show. And then I've also seen that you host some open mics. I've seen you doing some stuff in the Birds and things like that. Yes, and then there's the Buddy Show,
So I run.
Our other friend Kevin Budke was
Oh,
that.
buddies. Yes.
My buddies. So my question to you, I'd love for you to kick off with, is what are you noticing today in the Chicago comedy scene, particularly stand-up wise right now, that you are finding is maybe different from like a few years ago to now? Is there any difference hosting and stuff than when we last talked to you?
So my answer right now, it might be off because it's a new year, and it's a new year, so a lot of people like really trying to do comedy. But what I've noticed in Chicago since I've started is, one, the age limit for comedy has gone down. Like it's a lot younger group of people trying it, and on average, I think most of the comedians in Chicago are just naturally better. Now I don't know why, but a lot of people I've seen like a good example, like if you ever just randomly went to a show, you're gonna have a great time. I'm not talking about Laugh Factory, Zanies, clubs you should have a great time, but bar shows, some shows that beg you to come in. Usually those shows that, sometimes they're good, a lot of times they're bad.
It's like hit or miss.
Exactly. But right now in Chicago, I've noticed even the bar shows are becoming really good. So I think that's
interesting.
That's really good.
That's
really good.
I remember when I was doing open mics and it was horrific.
Exactly.
And I was like, oh, I thought it was funny.
No, it's so bad.
It's not.
Which is honestly is kind of the good part though, because
But you have to fail. That's number one.
exactly. And then would you respect comedy if everybody was just good at it?
No.
You gotta have some bad ones. You gotta have some bad ones, kind of fake, make fun of them. No, you still make fun of them.
Well,
That's part of comedy.
Well, first of all, I give you a lot of credit for being a stand-up, because I consider myself a comedian.
Mhm.
I describe myself as a comedian. I have done stand-up.
Mm-hmm.
Some.
Hey, if you like that.
Oh, it'd be like that
But-
for real.
The reason why I stopped doing stand-up was, one, I love doing accents and things like that, and I don't know if you gentlemen can tell, but I am white. And you have to be a little careful with what types of accents and things you do. And I was like, oh, shit. All right,
Really?
I gotta be very careful here.
A white boy got to worry about what accents he.
God, let me tell you, the impression against white people these days.
I don't know.
Sorry.
So, that's fine. Well, it's good to know. If we're being honest on this podcast,
Let's be honest. Please be honest.
Well, this is 100% honest
You
time
can
right
say
here, my friend.
you can get
Look,
shit
this
off
is
the chest today.
yes.
Well, to your point, it's just, first of all, got a lot of white friends, a lot of male white friends, love them, but it's just not a great time to be a white male time. Which is not like an edgy thing to say. That's
that's a legit thing.
Yeah, it's not an edgy thing to say. Which is interesting to me though, because comedy might be one of the only industries where being a white male is fucking you.
No, you curse.
This is
good, dude.
This is explicit.
Yo,
You can swear as much as you like.
Go for it.
Just do it.
Which I think is interesting, because comedy might be the only industry where, as a white male, you're not like, you don't have like a royal flush like in your head. It's the only right now, just
Right
like
now.
this time.
Currently now.
Stick to
It'll come back around.
Tomorrow can change.
Stick to
White people,
breaking.
white men can be back in control of everything else.
White man, as a white lady though, it's a great time being.
Yes,
correct. It's a great time.
White men, it's not great.
And to be fair, let me just say this for all haters. As a black guy, not that much better. Because even though as a black man, I do have an angle, it's almost second to a white guy right now. Only
Why would you say that?
Yeah, actually, that isn't actually.
because when you come, because great comedians, you think of all black guys. When you think comedy, you think of a black male dominant sport. So it's only, and this is just because how beautiful comedy is. We want different perspectives. So we almost heard most of the black guy's perspective.
Okay.
Now the time, if we're talking angles, I don't care who you are. It's a white woman, a gay guy, a trans woman. All these angles, which are beautiful, is what people want to hear.
Yep.
And now as a black man, it's still
I
dope
see
to
that.
be black because people still want to hear my angle, but it's not as compelling as some
Okay.
lesbian or some I don't even know, maybe some guy who has a speech impediment or some guy who has his leg blown off. Those are different angles people ain't heard yet, if that makes sense.
It does. I do understand exactly what you're saying. The thing that I have a point of contention with that in general
What's
is
that,
that
Jay? What's that, Jay?
each individual has their own voice in comedy.
True.
So you're always coming from a different background and a different view on life in general.
Hopefully, right?
Hopefully. Well, I mean, there are people who I imagine, but even each person has like a unique perspective of looking at things. I would also say this, and the best comedians out there today, the Bill Burrs, the Dave Chappelle's, I like Tom Segura.
I love Tom Segura.
What's his, Bert Kreischer?
Love him too.
I mean, those guys.
You seen Sebastian Madison?
It's Sebastian. Yeah, he's an NIU boy. What's up? Huskies all the way. I don't really care.